We're here with Bruce Pulver. He is the author of Above the Chatter, Words That Matter. And I'm Dr. Page. You're going to want to stay tuned on this episode because Bruce has a unique way of looking at the words that process through our mind. And it's interesting how this started. Bruce, tell us how this came about, that you began thinking in this way about the words that are operating in your mind.
Yeah, sure. So I had what I call a BAM moment in life.
Hopefully it wasn't a hammer.
We all have them. Sometimes it's a hammer. Sometimes it's a tragedy, maybe a health tragedy. Sometimes it's a relationship.
But it happens.
You never know. It happens, right? BAM happens, right? And for me, it was a sudden, unexpected job loss. I had spent 25 years in the healthcare technology business.
Wow.
In sales, in customer support, implementation. Just that was my career. And one day, after working to close a pretty large piece of business for over 3 years, my job and the job of 500 other employees in the company I was working with was eliminated. So,
see ya.
Bam. Right.
Thanks, Bruce, for working 25 years. Have a nice life. See you later. Bye.
Absolutely. So
here's the door. Yeah,
that's right. But I was raised in a family that looked at things from a gratitude perspective, grateful for what we have, grateful for, sometimes a challenge we had to come through, and a father who just loved words, crossword puzzles, word searches, wrote plays. And the day after that layoff, I think those two influences in my life forged into an unbreakable assignment message.
Yeah.
And I woke up with one word pounding in my head, and I just wrote it vertically.
What was that word?
It was the word that my mother sort of instilled in me, but I never really looked at it. It was strong. Bruce, you have to be strong. And so the first word, I just wrote that down. Stand tall, remain optimistic, now go for it. I wrote it vertically. I just looked at the letters. The second day was today, Bruce, will be awesome. Like, okay, well, what does that mean? Wrote it vertically, and immediately it became a wonderful experience shall overwhelm my expectations. So it either started me pulling myself off by the bootstraps, or it stopped me from sliding in the gutter. Jack, I'm not sure which one of those it was.
It was a BAM moment, whatever it was.
But I'm glad that it did, right? And so
I want you to stop for a second. So this started a cascade of changing the way that you thought about your life events, having gone through this BAM circumstance. So for our viewers who are trying to figure out, okay, I'm going through fill in the blank in my life, a financial change, a health challenge, whatever. How do I start? How do I start this process of beginning to rethink and use the words for something positive in my life? How do we do that, Bruce?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And first, for everyone listening, I want to make sure I'm very clear about this. I am a mouse in my own laboratory. I've not figured this out. I got days that are down in the gutter just like everybody else is. I mean, we're human. So this is a tool. This is a tool in my toolbox that I lean towards. So there's a couple of things. One of them is to just focus on eliminating words that end in N''T or N-O-T. I call it kick the can't or untie the knots. So a lot of times our self-talk is programmed. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not prepared enough. I'm not liked enough. Whatever those things are. And that script has to be rewound and has to be untethered a bit. So that's the way I would start. I would say start thinking about how we're talking to ourselves and others and the kind of input we're receiving from others as a baseline.
That's good. We're here with Bruce Pulver. He's a speaker, an author. He speaks to a lot of businesses, technology, sales, leadership, you name it. He's before a lot of groups, and he kind of talks about these principles and how to incorporate these in your life. You can find more about this at Above the Chatter, ourwordsmatter.com. And I think you'll find more about Bruce there. Bruce, it's been really good having you on this segment. I think people are going to really be encouraged by the words that you say. And it begins with, hopefully before that bam moment, you're already beginning to think about those, the way that you see your life events. Bruce, good having you on the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.